do I have? Oh, I don't have any Haunted Mansion stuff. Well, what's up? I'm Johnny Fandom. When I talk about all things fandom, such as Disney, Harry Potter, Star Wars, One Piece, whatever it may be, whatever your fandom of choice is, good chance I talk about it. And if you love fandom theories, then you come to the right place. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's video. Today we're going to be talking about not only a theory, but I'm going to be doing a movie review of Haunted Mansion. I thought it was great. Just throwing it out there. I thought it was great. But let's get deep into the Haunted Mansion review. Now, lately, I've not been a great fan of Disney new films coming out. The Pinocchio was decent. I didn't like the Wendy movie. The only thing about the Wendy movie was the fact that they kind of dove into Hook's backstory, which I actually made a theory about. Just saying. I had no idea that this even existed. I just thought this theory that Hook was a lost boy at one point, and I made a theory about it. And then I found out that there was actually a story that was written by Disney about this theory, so I'm a genius. And then they put it in a movie. Like, holy cow. Anyway, we're not talking about Wendy. We're not talking about the live action Lion King. Yeah, although that was cool because it was like, I don't know. It was just the way they did that was cool. But I don't like that Hollywood itself is just remaking and remaking and remaking all these movies. Come for something new. And Disney started to do that with the Jungle Cruise. Basically taking their ride, their IP, and creating a film out of it. I thought that was great. Jungle Cruise was a great film. Yes, they did Haunted Mansion in the past, but this one is more based off of the ride, where the one with Eddie Murphy kind of had its own storyline.
This is no time to panic. Don't panic.
I actually do have a video talking about that one as well, sort of. If Disney goes through and does like Big Thunder Railroad or, Astro Orbiters, take your creation and build a story around that. I would love to see a Thunder Mountain Railroad, storyline, like movie. That'd be kind of cool, I think. So the fact that they take the Haunted Mansion and made it its movie based off of the ride, and we actually see a ton of Easter eggs. Not just the ghost itself, that part of the story, but there's a few Easter eggs in there that we'll get to. Obviously, the original Haunted Mansion was in Disneyland, which is located in New Orleans Square. This movie takes place in New Orleans. And of course, we do see the front of the Haunted Mansion looks more like the Disneyland version. I don't know, just the way that they portrayed the story was fantastic. At the beginning of the story, we see family moving in, they're being haunted by the ghost. They hire experts to come by it and try to figure out what's going on, figure out what's haunting them. And we see these tons of ghosts chasing them around the house. But then we dive into a little more, and we find out that these ghosts aren't trying to scare the people in the house. They're scared of something else. So you think like, oh, they're scared of the ghost host, which we know the ghost host to be Gacy. And Gacy is the ghost host, and he's the owner of the mansion, and it's his home, and all these people years afterwards start dying and becoming the happy haunts of the Haunted Mansion. 999 of them, of course, and they need one more. Well, we know the tale of 999 happy haunts, and there's always room for one more. But we find out in this story that they need one more. Not necessarily the ghosts themselves, but something needs one more. So we assume Gacy is the bad guy because he does the seance and traps Madame Leota into the crystal ball. Well, we assume that at first. So we assume that Gacy does this big seance in this secret room in the house and creates all this madness throughout the years of the Haunted Mansion. However, I love the fact that Disney did this because we have this beloved character, beloved icon that hasn't been around for very long, but has been at the same time. And they create this whole story around it and created a new idea which enlightens everything else around it. And it's great because now we have this new lore that we can bring to the parks and we can enjoy this immersive experience because of this new lore that we have. And this character that was created was there during the debut of Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. He is none other than the Hatbox Ghost. The effect didn't work the way that they planned on, so they scrapped it. But we saw the Hatbox Ghost on thousands of merchandise items throughout the years. So he was always a role in Haunted Mansion, just never really was there. We now have the Hatbox Ghost now in Disneyland, and we are now getting him in Disney World. So with this movie coming out and this character of the Hatbox Ghost that we do see in the film, it creates this new aspect of both parks, of being able to see that character and we now get the Hatbox Ghost's backstory, which is fantastic. Before we go any further though, I do want to take a quick word from our sponsor, as always, Raze Energy Drink, brought to you by Rep Sports. That's REPPsports.com. Use coupon code Johnny Huey and save yourself 15% off. Now, this is a brand new flavor, just came out. It's called Melon Apple Shock. It is just, I have no, just, you get the hint of apple. Mostly it's like a sour watermelon taste, but you get that little hint of apple that kind of eases it and doesn't make it as sour. It's great. Zero sugar, full of electrolytes, full of BCA aminos, 0 calories. This stuff is just so great. It definitely keeps you energized all day. I drink this stuff every day. 1 can every morning. I'm wide awake for the rest of my day. Definitely go to repsports.com. That's REPPsports.com. Use code Johnny Huey. Save yourself 15% off. Now let's get back into the story. So like I said, we get this new background story of the Hatbox. So we find out there's this huge rich guy called Alistair Crump. Yeah. Huge rich guy called Alistair Crump that owns this big mansion. And he was kind of a shifty dude. And when he was killed, they could never find his head. They only found his body. And it's the whole Hatbox Ghost putting his head in his hatbox. Come to find out, his spirit went to the mansion and basically manipulated Gacy into doing the seance and gathering all these other ghosts. So the Hatbox Ghost, or Alistair Crump, is the true villain of the story. He wants to gather 1,000 ghosts in order to basically, come to full power and be able to be in full control of everything. And the cool part is we get to Alistair Crump's background story. We find out that he has this mansion of his own, which the facade of this mansion looks like the Disney World version of the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of cool. So kind of two little nods there. So, all in all, in the story, basically we are fighting against the Hatbox Ghost, and we end up defeating him by finding his head and then using his hat, which, spoiler alert, gets burned in a fire, and you have a little piece of it, and we do a spell to basically banish him out of existence, and you need a piece of him, so they use his hat. They find his actual hat on top of his skull, buried in the catacombs of his mansion. Not the mansion we're in, but the other mansion. It's kind of weird how they went back and forth, but I'm not sure I fully understood how Alistair Crump became a ghost in that mansion, if he had that one and was buried there. Either way, great story. Either way, the plot, the movement of it, everything was well paced, and I definitely enjoyed it. I would go see it again. I know it kind of flopped at the box office, but that's just because you had other movies like Barbie and Oppenheimer all coming out at the same time. So give it some time. It will get more views. It will go up. Don't worry. I definitely think Disney did a great job with this film. And I'm actually going to go watch it again. But before I watch it again, we're going to go over some of the Easter eggs. So first awesome Easter egg that we do get is we actually get the stretching room. And it's really cool because we actually see the portraits start to talk to them, and they're telling them to grab onto those gargoyles, and the gargoyles actually go up with the rest of the ceiling to basically bring you to the top. And we see the wall stretching, and we see the four becoming the pictures. So we have sharks swimming around over here, we have the sand with the dynamite over here, and it's really cool because it shows all the aspects of the stretching room in one fantastic scene. And then when they get up to the top of the ceiling, he shines the flashlight and the ceiling vanishes, and we see the canopy where Gacy was hung from the rafters. We don't see him being hung, but you see that it's an escape. So basically it's an illusion that the ceiling is actually there, and we do see that in the ride. So that was a cool little nod to the ride itself, to have the stretching room and the aspect that it did. Another really cool Easter egg that I liked was when they walked through, anytime they saw a tombstone, the tombstones were like directly from the ride, like word for word from the ride put in place. And that was this one was a little, you have to really think about it for a second, but we actually do get a doom buggy in the film. In the seance room, Madame Leota is sitting in this chair that resembles the doom buggy, and actually gets shot across the room, and she goes on a little fun of a ride in the doom buggy in the Haunted Mansion. We do get a nod to a lot of the different ghosts that we see in the attraction. Obviously the Hatbox Ghost, Gacy, we see the bride, we even see the hitchhiking ghosts. And they are hitchhiking. Like, what else do they do? And we also see the portraits, like in Disneyland in the queue, when you're walking through, you see the portraits kind of change. We see those. We also see the ones like in Disney World where the portrait changes and actually takes your picture, stuff like that. So those portraits that do change and manipulate, we see those in the film, like exact, like perfect. One neat little Easter egg, not a Haunted Mansion Easter egg, but it was just a little fun little nod itself to another Disney World ride and attraction, which I hope they don't make a movie of, because it would just be detrimental and destroy my insanity. It's a Small World. Yes, it's a Small World Easter egg in Haunted Mansion. We see Dan Levy, who is phenomenal. His character portrayal of it was fantastic. Definitely go see this movie, because if you see it just for Dan Levy, He's not in the film for that long, but it was just great. He brought that character to life. He's a tour guide of the club mansion, and he's playing on the piano, and he plays "It's a Small World" tune. So just a cool little nod to other Disney attractions. And of course, we see the ballroom, and basically see the ballroom scene. At one point, we also see the two ghosts in the hallway that walk by and shot each other. That you see the portraits up in the ballroom, and they shoot each other. We actually see there's a hallway, and the one woman, she says, every time I walk by here at a certain time, you feel sharp pain in your side. That's because they walk, they shoot, and that's the sharp pain you feel. So it's cool or not. And then, of course, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, we see this great scene of them partying and dancing in the ballroom with all of the other 998 ghosts at this point, because Hatbox is gone. Yeah, 998 ghosts because Hatbox is gone, and they are just living happy with the ghost in the house and having a great time. I mean, how cool is that? I would, if this was true, and I was one of the people to happen upon this haunted mansion and save them from the Hatbox ghost, I would totally just stay there. That would be like so cool. So that's all the Easter eggs that I could find in the film. If I missed any that you saw, please comment them down below. I definitely enjoyed this movie, so I would recommend this movie to you. If you are a Haunted Mansion fan, definitely go see this movie. Comment down below your thoughts on this movie, if you saw it or not, what you thought of it, and also let me know if you live there with all those ghosts at the end, like when they're saved and they're all happy now, not before when Hatbox is trying to kill you. Comment down below, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Before you go, make sure you check out this movie review right here and this movie review right here. This one right here on the bottom, that is actually Lilo doing a movie review about her favorite movie, Princess in the Fog. If you don't know who Lilo is my dog. She was Princess in the Fog. Any Princess in the Fog video that I have on my channel, she takes care of it. She does the theory. She does the discussions of that film. It's her film, her favorite movie. I got to do it. So I just sit back and let her do a thing. So, make sure you check out my merch store down below. Check out my Patreon because I have stuff on there just for you. You go to my Patreon page, you support me, you get a free shirt. You get a free sticker. You get a free stuff. And those videos that you can only get access to if you sign up for Patreon. Or you hit the join button. You can also get perks such as that right here on YouTube itself. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I want to continue making videos like this. So make sure you hit that join button so I can. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time.